All right, I'm back. We're here for another episode of our HBN International Women Spotlights. So I'm just so proud to spotlight the amazing members, female members of the network. We have some amazing male members too. But I said March is Women's International Month, and I would love for everyone to know how amazing. Except, I'm hoping you can jump on now. I'm trying it again. Let's see what happens. I'm saying a prayer for this. This is crazy. Oh my gosh! Why can't I get you on here? This is making me so sad, guys. I keep selecting to accept your request, and it is not working. Go live with Eva FM, not working. When someone joins, anyone who can see their live videos can also watch this one. Oh, I am so sad. So I don't know if we're going to have to reschedule, but guys, Eva is like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to women, natural contraception, menstrual health, hormonal health. Like, these are all the things. I don't know what is going on. Eva, I just went live earlier today, and I went live yesterday, the day before. Oh my goodness. And you're on your phone.
We did it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my goodness.
This was something strange. I don't know what happened, but we're here.
So you didn't do anything different? It just let you in?
It just loaded and let me in.
All right. The Instagram gods decided to like open the doors, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. Can you hear me clearly? Because I'm on my headset. Okay. I didn't intend to, but now I'm scared to take it off in case it messes the sound up. But I was just telling everyone about who you are, a little bit about who you are, how you're an expert in natural contraception, hormonal health, and also menstrual health. And I am excited to get into this conversation with you because I want to know all the things. And I'm sure people want to know all the things too. So for anyone that joins, I just recently learned that this bubble with a question mark, you can send questions there privately, or if you want to ask a question, you can definitely leave it in the comments. So feel free to leave any questions in the comments. Even after this live is over, you can leave questions for Eva. I'm sure she'll be happy to get back to you and all of that. So Eva, please tell us about you. Give us your short bio, or it can be a little long bio. Tell us a little bit about you so people can get to know like all the good things.
Yes. Thank you, Michelle, for having me here today. This is great what you're doing, giving us some space to promote ourselves and what we do and your beautiful network. So thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, about me. So I'm Eva Garro. I'm originally from Mexico City, but I live in Miami at the moment. And I'm a menstrual expert, menstrual educator, and counselor, and also a certified instructor for the symptothermal method, which is a natural family planning or fertility awareness-based method. It's called in different ways depending on where you hear it. And it's a method based on the natural signs that the women's body have just to know when you are fertile and when you're not. So the body's amazing. We have a language that we don't know, and our body is always telling us things, so we can actually know our exact fertile window without, having to do anything else but just know ourselves and listen to our bodies. So that's what I teach women, and I'm very passionate about it. And I am also a consultant for Femtech, which is female technology, now I think blooming. That is also very excited about being a consultant with Mira, the fertility monitor. So yeah, I do a lot of different things, but that's the summary.
I love all of it because I feel like you have wisdom that so many of us women don't even have. And here I am in my 40s, and I'm sure you know way more about my menstrual health and like natural contraception than I do in my 40s, which is crazy because they don't teach us this. We are not taught this information. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, what made you go in to this area of like expertise? What drew you into say, oh, I want to learn about that and help educate other women on this?
It's mostly my personal story. I've been struggling with really bad cramps during my period since I was about 16 or 17. So I got my first period at 13. But then the pain started right away. I think even earlier than that, maybe at like 14, 15. I started getting really bad cramps. I couldn't go to school. I would faint. So really, really bad. And all I got from the doctors, or I mean, I'm a privileged person. I could, go to the doctor, to a private doctor in Mexico and have myself checked. But all I would get would be, oh, take the pill. Or, just like, oh, it's nothing, it's normal. You'll get pregnant and it'll go away. And all these things that I think now, looking back, they're so violent, to tell someone who's like 15 years old, yeah, just get pregnant. Like that's not even, in my mind.
It's crazy.
So yeah, in summary, that's all I got. Really no clear answers. I started taking arthritis medication just to be able to cope with the pain. But that would get me sleepy. So then I was at school falling asleep in my classes.
Did you say
So it was just a
arthritis?
mess. Yes. Yes.
What?
Yeah, that was the only thing that could help me at the moment. Like I would take, the regular ibuprofen or things like that, and nothing would really help. Any like over the counter stuff. So besides it being very expensive, it made me really sleepy and it was just not sustainable. So that just naturally made me want to look for an answer. I've always been really curious about life in general. So I was like,
Mhm.
no, this is not right. Thank God my parents also supported me on not taking hormonal contraception. We were never really into that, or we never thought it was a good idea, even though we didn't know much about anything else. We just felt that wasn't the way. So thank God I never took that or any kind of hormonal contraception for the pain specifically. But then I started researching that just, led me to different things. I started making changes in my habits, in my life, just, even starting with, I stopped using the regular menstrual pads and tampons
Mm.
that were also causing more pain and issues and cysts and stuff that we don't even know about. Now I just saw the news that now it's out there that tampons are toxic, and now it's well out there. But some years ago, no one really knew about this.
Right?
The cup wasn't even a thing. So a lot of things happened, but that just naturally led me to look for other solutions and answers for myself because I couldn't find them, anywhere.
Oh my gosh. So, hi, Leonelli. Leonelli's
Hi.
joining us. So, your story is a lot of women have this story. My sister used to have debilitating periods too, to where wherever she was, she would have to leave and come home, and she could barely make it home driving. And then she would like vomit like the first day, and it was always really bad. And I was just like, oh my God. But back then, no one ever had a solution, or it was like almost like you didn't even go to the doctor to tell them because there was really nothing they would tell
Mm-hmm.
you. And then I have other friends where they had irregular periods and what do they recommend? The pill. Like, get on the pill, that will get you regular. And I don't think we really thought anything of it. We're just like, oh, I guess we have to go on the pill if we want to have some regularity. So the fact that you're bringing all this to light and then dove deep into why those things are happening and how you can help prevent them, amazing, amazing. You are going to change like so many people's like mindset, perspective, especially now. Like, I have a teenage daughter, but she doesn't have any issues. But just next generations having this information is so good. So you mentioned so many things you mentioned.
I know.
When you just touched on the pads and the tampons, like, you're so right. Like, it is coming out for the past few years how toxic they are. And I started using like a more natural line of feminine products myself, because I was just like, I'm against all things toxic. So as soon as I hear the news, I'm like, okay, I'm breaking free of whatever's causing like extra toxins. What are you using?
Yeah,
Hi, Carla.
so I started by using some, I think it was from Korea, that my aunt knew a person in Mexico that had some issues. I think she had like cysts, and then she found these organic pads from Korea, but they were super hard to get. You
Mm-hmm.
could only get them with certain distributors. So whatever, I got them. They were a little more expensive, but they really helped me. They actually made my period 1 day less. So instead of bleeding 6 days, I started bleeding five. And then some of my cysts got, they just disappeared as well. So that was really helpful. But then I moved to the US and I couldn't get them here. So that was a
Mm.
yeah, that was a big change for me because then I couldn't get them anymore. I couldn't go to Mexico that often. So that's when then I just went back to using regular pads. My period stayed for again like 5 days still, but the pain came back
Mm.
a little more again.
This is
So
wild
then,
that
yeah,
you're connecting the pain to the use of the
yeah, it
over-the-counter
was literally
product.
that. Yes.
Guys, this
Yeah,
is okay. Reason I'm sitting on this is
I
because
know it's so important.
there's so many things, right, that some of us have, and like we feel the effects of it, and then so many of us don't. So like other people will say, well, that's not a big deal because I don't feel anything. But then in my mind, I'm always thinking, like, if it's affecting one person, then it's probably affecting all of us. We're just not having the symptoms, but that person has a sensitivity to it.
Yeah.
So this is huge that you connected the dots, that when you
Mm-hmm.
use the over-the-counter feminine products, you're having all this pain. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you use natural products, you even had a reduction in how much bleeding and less pain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you have any natural products that you recommend, definitely share them here. We also have someone in the network that shares natural feminine products. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have something, definitely share it, because I know people would probably want to know what that is. But okay, continue. This is
Yes.
so good, Eva.
I know. Yeah. So after that, so I only lived here for, I lived in Chicago for 2 years. So that's where I went back to using the regular pads. I never used tampons, never liked them, so I
Yeah.
never used those. But I did use the pads. So then I went back to Mexico for university, and then I got introduced to the menstrual cup. So that just changed my
Mm.
life. I even stopped using pads at all. And I started using the cup. That worked for me wonders. I love it. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, it worked. It
Mhm.
was very comfortable. It was like a game changer. I didn't even feel that like I had something inside me, so it was great. So that's what I still use to this day. But it's funny because now when I'm older and I'm more connected to my womb and all this part, also in the spiritual side of things, which is also very important with the menstrual cycle, because we tend to look only at the physical level, but there's so
Mhm.
many other things behind. I've noticed that my like after my third day, my body starts to like expel the cup, like it doesn't want it anymore. So I only
Mm.
use it for a couple of days, and then I go back to using. Now I use reusable and washable pads. cotton or different, natural materials. So I've been experimenting with different products. I also want to try, I've been trying the free bleeding, but it's just hard because sometimes you're not home or you can't really just, let yourself be. But that's something I am really trying to get in my life, as I think that's amazing to just be able to really bleed freely. So there are so many different things, but yeah, now I'm using mostly the cup and reusable, washable pads.
So tell me, I have never heard of reusable and rewashable pads ever. It makes me think of like how you can reuse diapers. Where do you find, hi, Dr. Lauren. There's so many people that joined.
Yay.
Hi, love, live, lovely, fit joined. Carla, life fit
Yeah.
joined. All these fitness pros. And we got Leonelli on here. But can you
Natural
tell me
is
where?
better. Wow. Yes, natural is better.
Mhm. Yes, love it. Tell me where you find like natural reusable pads. Where do you get that?
Um,
Or did you make it?
you can make them yourself, but there are many different brands. I mean, I don't want to call like brands here, but now there are many different. You can just Google them and you'll find them. It's for me. It's just it takes time, but it also I feel like it connects you to the present moment, like to be able to dedicate yourself 5 minutes during your period to be like to wash your things and see the blood. And I also reuse my blood to I dilute it with water and I pour it into the plants. So I give it back to earth. So that's something
Mm.
that really helps me do that because when I wash them, I have them soak in water so you can get the blood out. And it's just like a whole ritual for me more than actually having like the like yeah, like the task to wash your stuff is more like a ritual to me. So it depends on everybody. But yeah, you can just Google like
I guess you get
clothes.
more connected to the whole process of that monthly cycle, right?
Mm-hmm,
Because you're going
mm-hmm,
through washing, like prepping, all the things,
mm-hmm.
which if you think about it, that's probably what they were doing hundreds of years ago,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going back to, and I love hearing how so many of the things
Going back to
now we're
basics.
going back. Yeah, we're going back to things we did hundreds of years ago because it
Yeah.
just makes sense. Like, this makes sense.
And then also
Okay.
just want to add on that one of the reasons why I do that as well is just to take care of the environment because we know we waste so many like so much plastic, so much things that we use and we consume so many things and the pads are made out of whatever materials that are
Mhm.
super harmful for you and the environment. So that's also another factor why I really promote the cloth paths just because you can save on waste and stop wasting so many things.
That's so true. That is so
Mm.
true. There's so much waste that goes through us using pads and the
Every
plastic
month,
and the things that
imagine
don't
how many
decompose.
you use every
Yeah,
month.
and that's millions. Low
Hmm.
battery. Sorry, me disconnect. No problem. So, for anyone who joined, if you have any questions for Eva, feel free to leave a comment in here. I'll make sure she gets to answer your question or hears your question. Or I was told that this like funky little bubble button with a question mark in it is if you want to ask something privately so that you're anonymous, you can ask it there and then I can ask her. So if you like want to ask something privately, you can use that bubble button. If you just want everyone to hear what your question is, put it in the comments section. Okay, awesome. So Eva, how long have you been sharing this information? Because I love that you have this personal journey you went through and then you built up your knowledge base and now like you're all in like helping other women with the solutions that you now have, the knowledge and the solutions. Hi, Lucas, that you now have.
Sorry, what was the
Oh,
question
I'm
again?
sorry. So the question is, how long have you been
Oh.
sharing, like helping women get educated on hormonal health, menstrual cycle health,
Hmm.
and actually even natural contraception, like
Hmm.
all the things that you have under your tool belt?
It's gonna be 5 years now, so it's yeah. I actually was just looking at my memories on Facebook. I think Instagram was like 5 years ago. I'm like, oh wow,
Hey,
time
Evelyn,
flies.
looks like a teenager herself, right? You look
Yeah.
so young. But no, you're full of wisdom. You just don't show it yet. You're not showing it at all. But
Yeah.
no, that's so good. So,
Yeah, it's been
who
5 years of formally sharing, but of course, I was doing it naturally before with friends and with people that were close to me just because of what I was going through naturally.
So I've been seeing you on the speaking circuit, doing talks,
Hmm.
and I'm curious, like, what kind of events do you usually partner up with? I'm sure, like, this month is probably like such a huge month for you because Women International Month and just focusing on women.
Hmm.
Um, what are some of the partnerships that you've had where you're speaking and able to connect? Are you even doing like high schools or kids that they can get this information to?
Yeah, that's what we're planning. We haven't done that. I'm actually partnering with Laura Scroy. I think you've met her before.
Yeah.
So that's what we're starting to do now. We want to go to a younger, demographic because I was mostly focused on contraception for like mostly my age group
Mm-hmm.
and like 20s, 30s, and then like for trying to conceive as well, like natural fertility. But then, yeah, I just got this spark inside of me. Like, I want to share this with girls and younger people, just because I wish I heard this when I was that age, and I think it's very important to share that with them that they're starting their journey and their menstrual journey. So it's important that they know what to expect, what to do if this happens to them. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're looking now. Actually, today we just had a meeting about that. So hopefully
Oh,
soon we'll be touring around Miami and maybe even more places
yeah.
with schools. It's just so complicated. As you may know, Florida has very strict ways of with reproductive health now and things that you can actually talk about at school. So it's very tricky. So we're just trying to find the best way to approach it. But yeah, that's something we definitely want to do. And then also with the corporate world. So I come from the corporate world. I had a normal 9 to 5 job before doing this, and I saw the necessity of these topics where you are always working and you have this men standardized ways of doing things that they don't care about your cycle of what you're going through emotionally or anything like that as a woman. So I think there's a big need in that corporate world to get this information, and thank God all these companies are more open now, and hopefully there'll be even more in the future to these topics and to incorporating this holistic and just natural ways of doing things into their crazy corporate way of doing things. So it's just like
Yeah.
I like this crossover of worlds where we can combine both and like productivity, but maybe you can sync it to your cycle, and that would be amazing. So things like this. So I'm focusing mostly on those two sides.
And giving like the men in the workplace that knowledge, like that
Mm-hmm.
awareness, I think is so
Mm-hmm.
good because
And
more people need
empathy
to
and
know. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So definitely would love for you to connect with the school that we have within the network because they're like a private school that they have, private schools will have the ability to make those decisions
Mm-hmm.
without
Yeah,
waiting on all the
that would be
bureaucracy of
great.
like public school. And then also the university that we have under the network too would be
Mm.
really good connection because she's constantly looking to have people come in that can
Mm-hmm.
speak to the nurses
Mm-hmm.
and other people that are coming in for degrees. So
For sure, yeah.
potential to share this information, I can see that for you. Okay,
Mm.
so tell me, are there any exciting things that you have coming up in the next few months or any events where you're going to be like speaking where we could check you out?
Yeah, so for now, it's mostly planning, so I don't have anything like ready. I'm going through a restructuring of my business and my brand. I had some issues with the brand, so I might have to change that up. So I'm like a little, caught up with that. But yeah, I'm doing that the school things that we're just talking about with Laura. So we're starting that. So this is great that you're telling me that because it's the perfect timing to get these conversations going. And I'm planning to launch a new program just to be able to offer something more basic, because sometimes people want to learn the symptothermal method, but they might need like something before that, like a more basic approach, because it's too much information. Sometimes if you don't know anything, this can be overwhelming, and it could
So
be
are
untrustworthy.
you referring to the natural contraception right now?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, oh, so I almost forgot to touch on this because I'm like, oh, I wanted to. I actually had written here the natural contraception. Like,
There are so many
I
things to
know
talk about.
that's what I said. You're a wealth of knowledge. The natural contraception information that you share, I know you're also partnered with a monitor
Hmm.
that goes, like, I want to know a bit more about all of that you share, because I'm sure there's a lot of women on here that would
Yes.
love to know, you know, we're all about being holistic, and natural contraception is just like the perfect mix of all of that.
Hmm.
Please share some more.
Yes. So the symptothermal method is based on three things that your body naturally has. So basal body temperature, which is the temperature that you have when you wake up. So before doing any activity in the morning, you have this basal temperature, like it says base.
Hmm.
So you can measure that, and that's one of the few ways to know if you're actually ovulating. So when a woman ovulates, the temperature goes up and stays up because of progesterone. So progesterone comes in during the second part of the cycle, which is the after ovulation, the luteal phase. So when your progesterone goes up, the temperature gets elevated, and that's how you know you've ovulated. So that's what we look into with the method. And also the cervical mucus, which some people don't even know what that is. No one teaches us about that. And the cervical mucus is literally life. Like that's what helps the sperms move around and stay in the reproductive tract up to 5 days. So, for example, if you're trying to conceive and you're having issues, it might be a mucus problem. You don't even have to go further than that, and maybe it's just that you don't have enough mucus, or it's not a good quality mucus. So the mucus is the second one, and then the cervix. So your cervix changes in position, it goes up and down, it gets soft and hard. So it literally has like its own life, and it changes throughout the cycle as well. So those three things, by observing them every day, we can know where you're at your fertility, and then use that to either avoid pregnancy or achieve pregnancy naturally. So it's basically knowing your cycle, tracking your cycle, and then deciding what to do with it. It's either one or the other. Or just for general health, because ovulation, equals health. If you're ovulating, means you're healthy. The first thing that shuts down, if your body's feeling threatened, or that it's not safe, or you're not eating enough, it's going to be reproduction. So by ovulating, we know that you are actually healthy, regardless of your family planning intention. So that's basically what I teach. And then I have this monitor. So Mira, I'm working with them as a consultant, and I am currently teaching providers. So healthcare providers could be endocrinologists, OBGYNs, dietitians, acupuncturists, whatever it is, health coaches, to incorporate this monitor into their practice, because we think there's like a big gap. Now this is available for consumers, so you can go and buy the monitor. You have all this information, then you go to the doctor, and the doctor doesn't know what to do with it, right? It's like, what
Hmm.
is this? So we're trying to close that gap and make sure that these providers know how to incorporate this technology into their practice to be able to help patients better. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm training providers. So you're free to book a session if you're a provider and you're interested in learning more about Mira and the fertility monitor. You can just book a session. I'll give you a quick introduction. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. And I'm trying to mix those worlds. So it's just amazing because it's like the natural side of things, but also
Yeah.
the technology, which is they're not, against each other. I think they can complement each other really well. So that's what I'm mostly focused on right now, like trying to mix those two things, and be able to have like a more robust protocol, and ways to, yeah, to assess the menstrual cycle and what might be happening. And the cool thing about the monitor is that it measures your hormones at home. So it's like an at home lab. in 21 minutes, you have
Uh-huh.
the results of your four main reproductive hormones. So it's amazing. I think it's an amazing tool. And we are conducting a lot of research with it because before hormones were like an uncontrolled variable. So that's why
Mhm.
we don't have any research with women in many different topics. It was all done with men. So this is great because now we have this tool that is allowing us to take hormones into consideration when doing research for different things. So even like athletes' performance throughout the cycle, how it changes, or even the glucose levels throughout the cycle, eating differently in the phases. So many different things that are currently happening. So very exciting. So yeah.
You know, I love this because from what you're doing, you're actually helping us to really highlight women's health, which I think, has been something that
Mhm.
was not taken as seriously. So this information is gold. Like this is
Mhm.
gold. You have a monitor that can check like how your hormones are affecting your body at certain times of the month, especially I can imagine how for female athletes, someone training for the Olympics, how
Mhm.
important this information can be because it only takes one little adjustment when you're
Mhm.
training for like such an elite sport to get you to that next level. So that is so fire. That is
Yes,
so good.
it's so
Oh,
exciting.
so the monitor that you mentioned, you mentioned the three things, right? It measures the three things, or is it the monitor plus you mentioned something else? The monitor
So
and
no,
is it
the monitor measures four hormones. So FSH, which is a follicle stimulating hormone, the LH, luteinizing hormone, and then progesterone and estrogen metabolites as PDG and E3G.
Mhm.
So those are like the four main hormones of the cycle. But then the method that I teach is a separate thing. So what I'm trying
Mm.
to do is like mix them both, and now you'll have like a complete picture of your cycle because then you'll have temperature. It's like indirect measurements, which are temperature, mucus, and cervix, and then you have the monitor, which actually gives you quantitative results of the hormones. So then mixing all of that, you can get, and you can be an expert on your cycle and know exactly what's happening, and then kind of cross-check everything to see, oh, when my temperature goes up, it means you're ovulating, but then you'll have the LH peak as well when you ovulate. So you can see how that relates to each other. And oh, maybe I like you can get your patterns and trends over time. So that's the important thing about hormones because not all cycles are the same. Um, so you can see, oh, I usually ovulate around this day, but then my temperature goes up a day after my LH peak, or you can start to like correlate these things and also correlate with different symptoms. Like you might have high estrogen and you might be having painful periods because of that. So it's just great to have the more information you have, the more you can really assess, and then providers can really treat you better and tweak in real time because they're seeing your results, and this is the only monitor that is quantitative. So any other things in the market are semi-quantitative or qualitative, which is like
Mhm.
the LH test strips or the pregnancy tests that
Yeah.
get darker, and
Mhm.
so it's not a number per se, like it's not an exact measurement. So this monitor is great because it gives you exact numbers. So
Okay.
yeah.
I know we're totally over time, but I want to ask one more question
Of course.
because it just came to me. Like, so I believe I'm in the perimenopause stage of life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been told. I've had some symptoms like my hip hurting out of nowhere. Just weird stuff happens in
Mm-hmm.
this stage of life. But so we talked about natural contraception, ways to improve your menstrual cycle and have that awareness and education that you share. But then I'm thinking about what about someone like me who's going into that menopausal stage? I know that's something you also are like an expert in that area too, the menopausal stage or perimenopause.
Yeah, so I don't focus like on that stage because I just feel like I can focus more on what I've been through myself
Mm,
naturally.
that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do see with the Mira device especially, it is very helpful with perimenopause because of course your cycles start doing different things. and it's like unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it really helps you see. So Mira is very useful for transitional periods such as after birth control or postpartum or perimenopause, like things, transitional times where you really don't know when you're going to ovulate, if you're ever going to ovulate again from
Yeah.
perimenopause, things like that. So that can really help you see how your levels are and then correlate those symptoms with the actual hormone levels. So yeah, Mira
Okay.
is definitely a great tool for perimenopause.
Okay, I think this is your Laura. Is that your Laura? She said so
Yes,
useful for all of us.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
love that. Hey, Laura. And then
yes.
Elisa from Colonic Center, Miami is asking, is there a level of estrogen that is normal for women to be at prior to cycle start day 1? Is there a level of estrogen that is normal for women to be at prior to cycle start day 1?
I mean, I don't know if I get the question exactly, but the ranges, I have them here. So for the luteal phase, I guess she's asking like right before your period, because cycle day 1 is the day that you get your period.
Mm-hmm.
So the ranges for the luteal phase of estrogen would be 100 to 350. That's what we want to see, but it's different. So it depends. This ranges are for urine, so it's also important to know that we can't compare urine to blood. There are different measurements. So it's like the urine metabolites are the breakdown of that serum level in blood. So it's just to make that difference. But yeah, the range for urine would be 100 to 350 more or less in the luteal phase.
Oh, yeah, she did give okay, yes, luteal phase, and then she did say yes, or a range. Okay, thank you. So Alicia's saying thank you for
Yeah,
that, Eva. And
of
Alicia's
course.
also a part of the network too. So
Yeah, I
Alicia,
love what
you
she's
know now.
doing. I know, that's great as
You
well.
guys are both in Miami. I love that, and both doing amazing things. Alicia will be on later this month, but this was so good. This
I
was so good.
know.
All the women on here. I hope you got so many good nuggets because I know I did. Eva is always like opening my eyes to more of this information that we should have known from like middle school when we were all starting our periods. But
Yeah.
thank goodness we have people like you that are out here helping to educate and having been through what you've been through, you know,
Hmm.
really experience some of those things. So thank you for all that are on here. Eva, please tell us, outside of Instagram, how can people find you?
Yes, they can email me. I can actually drop my email in the chat if people want to reach out. So it's info@havafem.com. You're free to email me any questions, anything you want. I offer free discovery calls if you have some issues and you don't know if you can work with me, or feel free to book a session. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
always open for speaking, for events, workshops, whatever it is. And stay tuned for what's coming with my partner Laura. Hopefully we'll have some exciting things also for moms and kids. So that's coming. And yeah, thank you so much for having me and for opening this space to
Thank
these
you.
important topics.
Yes, a very important topic, and we're all going through it.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, you can touch so many women with this information. Thank you so much for being a part. I am going to add Eva's email address also in the caption when this posts. Thank you all for joining. And you know what? If you have any questions, you'll see how to connect with Eva on IG. Otherwise, you can find her information in the caption. And thank you, Eva, for being one of our international women of the Holistic Business Network. We love having you, and the information that you share is gold. I love it. So
Thank you,
thank you so
Michelle.
much. You're
I love
welcome.
your background, by the way.
Oh, thank
So
you.
beautiful.
I sat out here yesterday and I was like, oh, it looks really nice. We just
Yeah.
had a pool put in. So
Right.
thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
night,
you.
and
You too.
happy Women's International Month.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.